if you are choosing software testing as your career actually? Anyone?
In simple terms, you can explain.
Yeah, guys, please be open. Actually, I don't want to
No
bore
need
you
of
guys.
exact definition.
I just don't want to, start boring. Actually, giving hours of lecture and things. I just want to interact. Maybe take me as a friendly person.
Good evening, sir. I feel it is about the security provided to our data.
Great. Okay, so in simple terms, if I have to say something about software testing, so consider an example, so take our college attendance system or something like that. So you guys are the client, and I'm going to develop your software or to maintain the attendance records and everything for the student in our college. Okay, so what I'm going to do is like I have a set of team who will be developing the codes first. You guys will be telling me your requirements like this UI should be like this button should be like this, there should be this much of users and everything like that. So what we will do is like we'll just have in our development team will note down all the requirements. We'll just analyze what all are required and how many days are required to develop this particular software, including the part of testing. I'm sure you guys might have been studying this software development life cycle. So likewise, so we'll be going phase by phase, like requirements gathering, uh, data analysis, and everything like that. So once the software is developed, they'll be giving us for testing internally. I mean, internally to us actually. So there will be a testing team who will be trying to create different kinds of scenarios. Say for example, like this particular user is the only person who can go and view this, who can log in. Say, for example, it is Balaji, username is Balaji, password is Balaji. So I'll just give this particular input and I'll just create different scenarios like this particular, maybe in the login page itself. So there are like 5 pages, say, for example, consider it as an example. So one is login page, one is home page. The other one is like batch wise, say, for example, BSc IT first year, second year, third year. So there will be field wise things. So I'll just go page by page. So first thing is login page. Okay, so in login page, if I am the only user that I'll be authenticated to use this particular software entirely. I mean, for to edit or to delete things, to delete the records or to edit the records. So I'll be performing different set of tasks. Like I'll be writing the test plan first. So how am I going to approach this particular software? How it is going to work? How many users it can manage? What are all the users that should have the privileges to edit the software? The other users that have the privilege to view the software, so etc. So different kinds of scenarios I'll be planning. Then I'll design the test scenarios, like what all the test cases that I need to write, how many test cases should I have to write. Say for example, one is for positive login, username correct, username should be given correctly, password should be given correctly, the correct methodology to click the login button. Then I'll go to the next page. If the system is correctly responding, that it is going and clicking the user, I mean bringing the user to the next page. If it is an error message, what is the error message, how it is handled, what should be the error message that should be thrown if it is a invalid user, authentication failed, those kind of stuff should be written in an Excel sheet or something like that to just track of it. And we'll be presenting it to our managers. I mean, may say for example, my lead or someone. So he once he approves it, what we will do is like we'll start performing the testing. So without testing, if you give a software to the client, actually, it is a waste of time for everyone. Why? Because what the client is expecting is like whatever he has told us, it should work perfectly. He doesn't give you any insights like this should not be there, that should not be there. Whatever his purpose is to create an attendance maintenance system, and I should provide you with a solution of the particular working software. There shouldn't be any errors or something like that, in such a way that it should be throwing an error when the particular client is using the particular software. It shouldn't throw any error. So it demoralizes what we have done, the hard work that we have put in so far. Like all our developers have been might be spending months of time, or spending their own valuable time to develop the software, and it shouldn't be in vain. Okay, so the main aspect lies in the quality of the software that you deliver. So always I would say is, what I would say is like, the quality is more important when you deliver a particular good. Okay, it can be anything. So that is how we develop the software first, and we test it. We have multiple rounds of testing. First, we'll be performing unit testing, then integration testing, then acceptance testing, load testing, stress testing, regression testing. So every single phase we will be going through thorough round of testing, and then we deliver the software to the client. Even then, there may be some difficulties, or maybe there may be some changes that has been put forth by the client actually to us regarding this. That I don't want this particular function to work like this. And say, for example, I don't want this particular user to be having the access to, delete or edit some records or something like that. So everything will be going in a process like a chain. Actually, it goes like a chain. It goes through all the process. It goes to the client. It goes to, again, it comes back to us for any request change, any new change or something like that. So that is the basic idea what that we are going to implement in a software testing field. Okay, which we try. There is a myth actually. There is a saying like, nothing can be 100% perfect. Okay, so like that is very true aspect in terms of software testing as well. You cannot develop a software without a single percentage of bugs in it. There will be always be bugs, provided what we can try is like, we try maximum, not try to find the bugs by ourselves rather than the clients find the bugs to us, because that becomes a different dilemma actually. So like, this is why we are trying to make sure the quality is more efficient and elegant than what we are developing. There will be like, I'll say you a real time example. So for like, there's a client for us who needed to develop some software, and there will be in real time example in the industry, I will say there will be a particular team for within the client itself to check the quality of the software itself. There will be a separate testing team within the client itself to check the quality of work that we have done so far. Okay, so what they'll do is like, we will have some hours of meeting. Say, for example, 4 hours or 5 hours of meeting we have gone through just for a single button design. This is real actually. For a single button design in the UI, so we have spent some around 4 hours or 5 hours sitting like, how this button should look like, how this font of the button should be looking like, how where the exact position of this button should be looking like. This has happened actually. So likewise, people are giving so much importance actually in the quality of the software, in the quality that they want actually as the outcome of the software. Okay, so I'll just move to the next slide. So why do we need software testing? So like, as I said earlier, the quality is more more of an important aspect that has become in this industry right now actually. Without the quality of the software that you're giving, there won't be any success for the product actually that you're delivering. Like I said actually, so the quality of work that you give to the client, that is when you get back something as a reward or something, maybe new products or new requests or something like that. So that is when the client gets trust on you to deliver some other product of theirs. So that is how you earn the trust of the clients, by delivering them the quality products. So as a tester, as a testing specialist, so you are the main person actually. You are the main person that is responsible for the quality of the products. If anything goes wrong, the developer will be bluntly saying, so I've delivered the product, but it is the duty of the tester to test it perfectly as such. So any wrong instances, or any miss working of the software, anything leads to the blame entirely put on you actually as a software tester. They take the blame as a team, but individually they'll be pointing out you as a software tester. So that is how critical the quality of the software is. That is how critical the work is actually. But on a surface line, actually, if I have to say, software testing is just a part of the life cycle. But when you take software testing as your as a mainstream within software testing, there are multiple things actually that you have to take care of, that you should be very careful of while delivering the software, while performing the testing to the software. If a slight miss in the testing will lead you will may cost you dollars of money, actually I'm saying dollars of money to you as well as your company actually. So they'll just blame that this company is not worth giving the product to, and that spoils the reputation of the company, entire company, just because of one small mistake. So that is the seriousness of the software testing industry, that I mean in the current industry that it has been going through. So I hope that you guys are understanding what why software testing is so much important in this current industry, right? So coming back to like, so next thing is like, what is the current trend that is going on in the software testing? So uh, people actually, I think you guys might have heard like manual testing, automation, different kinds of testing profiles that we are going coming across. Actually, manual testing is there, automation testing is there. Uh, performance testers are there, UI testers are there. So different kinds of testers that we come across in the in the market actually. So what is the current trend in this industry is like, so there is no scope for manual testers right now. Manual testers in sense like, I believe that you guys know what manual testers means. Karthik sir, if I'm not wrong, I think they have the basic knowledge of what manual testers do and everything. Is it, or like do you want me to go run a small intro or brief on that?
You just give an intro, Kanna.
Okay, good. Okay, so manual testers is something like, so we don't have any coding knowledge. Say, consider me as an example as a manual tester. So I don't have any coding knowledge. All I just need is the application knowledge, how the application is working, how the functionality. If I click this button, where should it go, and everything will be there. So I just write the test cases according to the client's requirements, and I just perform the testing on the application. I just record it. I just record the results and screenshots and evidence, and I just pass the test case or fail the test case if there is any defect, or I'll just raise the defects. That is the basic criteria, basic work that a manual tester does. Okay. So nowadays in the market, the waterfall model has gone, and now we are more into agile and DevOps model and something like that. So how it goes is like, there is no point in having manual testers. So manual testers job has already been taken over by the developers itself, because the developers are the one who will be doing the unit testing. That is, once after developing a product, what as a developer I'll do is like, I'll just perform one round of testing, that is unit testing, whether whatever I have developed is working fine or not. So there becomes, I'm pretty sure that whatever I have written code for, so that particular process has been covered. So then there is no point in having manual testers, isn't it? So how the market is going right now is like, so manual testing part has been done by the developers itself. And what we are taking in one, how the profiles have been taken is like, there is a role called SDET, that is software development, engineering and testing. I'll be given a particular product, I'll be given a particular request. I have to develop the software, I have to write the code, I have to I have to analyze all the codes and analyze all the requirements, and I'll have to test it, and I myself have to deploy it to production. So that is how the industry has become. Okay. So like, if I'm not very well blessed in coding, any coding languages, say for example, I'm very good at Java, but I'm not good at VB.NET, that is fine. If you're good at something, you just make sure you learn more on that. I mean, I would suggest you to have a particular coding knowledge on any particular software, any particular coding language. Say for example, let it be Java, let it be Python, let it be VB.NET, let it be any coding knowledge is very good. But without coding knowledge, it is very risky actually for us. I would say, I would put forth like this: it is very highly risky for you to survive in the industry. You can get in actually, but it is very risky for you to survive in the industry without the coding knowledge. For a tester, actually, for an automation tester, there need not be much coding knowledge. You just have to understand. You just have to understand on the basic level that what we are going through in our syllabus. Actually, it is very basic, and It is very good enough actually. If you guys are making it a thorough, if you guys are enough good enough to understand the particular concepts that they are going through. So whatever we are learning in the college, actually it is on the very basic level to just to enter the IT industry. I just repeat this, I just echo the statement. It is just to enter the IT industry. It is not for survival. So survival is in your hands. How far, how good, how far, how fastly you learn the new technologies, and how fastly you go deep in the programming set of arena actually. So that is a very vast topic which I don't want to dive into. So coming back to software testing, so you guys are I think you have a point in manual testing. Okay, so now comes the automation part. So automation is something different, something like, so I have a system here, maybe say for example an UI screen here. Uh, Take it as an example as Facebook itself. So there is a test actually that I have to perform. Like I have to log in to Facebook page with some user ID or password. I'll have to go inside it. I'll have to log into it. I'll have to click on my profile picture. I'll have to change my profile picture. Then I'll have to upload some status like XYZ or something like that. So this is the particular test case that has been given to us. Okay, so I particularly have a test case like this, and what I'll have to do is like I'll have to write code for this in the backend to go and open the application first, open the browser first, and in the browser I'll have to give the URL first. Then after the URL gets loaded, I'll have to verify whether the username and password fields are there or not. After verifying successfully, I'll have to type in the username. I'll have to type in the password again. Then I'll have to enter login button, and I'll have to again verify whether it is a valid user or not in the backend. Then I go to the home page. Then I click on my profile picture. First, I'll have to verify whether my profile picture is present or not at the particular point wherein I have given the code. Then I'll have to click on the profile picture. I'll have to change. I'll have to take up. I mean, there will be an option called browse profile picture from your computer. I'll have to handle all those windows. If at all there is any error, that we have a concept called error handling. I'm sure you guys might have come across actually. So how well you are handling those errors is also an important task in automation testing. Okay, so you guys have to verify everything, each and every single thing which we are doing manually actually. So for manually, if there is any error comes, we just click on OK, or we just click on ignore or something like that, and we just leave it. But for that particular set of actions also, we'll have to write the code for it in the backend. Okay, so once we write the code to change the profile successfully, change the profile picture successfully, and to write something on the feed, and you just log out from your profile. So that particular set of actions that we are going to perform, that each and every individual action that we'll have to note it down. We'll have to handle it efficiently, like how we are going to do it manually. So what we'll have to do is like we'll have to manually go and check once the flow, how the flow works, like what comes here, what goes there. I mean, when I click on this button, what happens next? When I click on close button, what happens? How the browser is reacting? And what all the challenges that we are facing. That is the main thing that we are coming across whenever we are automating something. Let it be an UI part, let it be an Windows application or anything like that. So as an automation tester, what we have to do is like you just have to have a basic coding knowledge, like how this works. Let it be any language. So how this works. I mean, what are the things that that I'm going to use? How like what is the approach that I'm going to take? Okay, to handle this particular thing. And most important thing is you can handle it once actually, but in the future, if someone comes and takes up your role, say for example you have been replaced by some other person, your code should be written in such a way that it should be understood by him as well, the new person as well. So there is a concept called framework. Framework is nothing but how efficiently you are writing the code in such a way that you make it very easy for the next person who is coming in and who is replacing you to alter the code based on the needs actually, because there will be multiple changes that will be coming in each and every single day actually. You are not very sure that this will be the exact thing that will be going on throughout the entire aspect actually. So how efficiently you write the code is something different that we will have to learn actually. So that is called as framework. Within framework, we have multiple approaches actually. Okay, so I say it. I'll say it on the on a brief actually. So within, say for example, if it is a Selenium uh, that Selenium tool that you're using, and if it is a Java background that we are using as a coding language, so I be using. There are multiple frameworks like modular framework, hybrid framework, data-driven framework, keyword-driven framework, and everything is there are multiple kinds of framework that we'll be able to use actually within this. How we are going to present that particular automation script to the user or to anyone else. So it will be written in such a way that even if a person who is from a non-testing background or non-programming background, say for example, he might have come from MBA background or something like that, so he will be able to understand what has been written inside the code. So that is how we have to write the code, and that is how we should be ready. We should be prepared in such a way that we should be ready to write a code whenever and however they present to us, however the challenge that comes to us actually. So there are like if you are interested in Java, please go ahead and do some uh, work on Java actually. Maybe you can do a certification. If it is not if you are like, it is very tougher to get into certification courses and all. Like in nowadays actually we have many online certification courses actually for around 400 500 rupees and all. Like in Udemy is there, Edureka is there, so there LinkedIn learning is there. So there are multiple opportunities for you to develop your knowledge on a particular stream of work. But first and foremost thing is like, you have to decide what you're going to learn. And if you have decided something on that, you should put your 100% on that. You should put your 100% effort on learning that particular task actually. So for an automation tester, you don't have to learn multiple languages actually. If you are going to take up a role for Selenium automation tester, so Selenium supports only few programming languages, out of which you can select any one. Selenium supports Java, Selenium supports PHP, Selenium supports Python, Selenium supports C# is there, .NET is there. So any particular coding language, any one coding language, if you're thorough in that, actually, if you're able to do what you need actually to perform that particular set of testing, if you are very thorough in writing the coding on that is very good actually in terms of the current industry standards. Because when you come into the industry, once you get into the industry, people will be starting to note your coding standards and coding skills actually. How good are you at a particular set of challenge that has been posted to you, how efficiently you face the challenge, how good are you as a team player. So that is more important actually. So once you come into this industry, more or less people will be judging you on team level basis, how well you fit into the team. I mean, say for example, a team of 5 persons, and there is one tester, one developer, one that is how the criteria works as in agile methodology products. So there won't be much of a team support actually. So how well you will be able to individually handle your tasks that has been put forth to you. So that by that scale only you will be able to progress moving forward. Like, say for example, I've been inducted as I've been taken inside a company as a fresher, and I've been put into a team wherein I'll have to wherein my role is to automate a particular flow. Okay, so I've been trying to automate a particular UI screen using Selenium and Java. I've been using this uh, BDD framework, which is using Cucumber and all. So I'll have to write a particular set of cases, and I'll have to automate the particular set of cases just for regression testing. Regression testing is nothing but, say for example, we have already a working software, and what there is a new change that is coming up. Say for example, there is one like the button that has been newly added. So what we have to do is like, that particular button change inside the code should not affect the previously existing piece of code that is already working correctly. Okay, so say for example, that particular button is canceling or clearing some fields or something like that. Okay, you assume it like that. So that particular field's code should not affect the other functionalities which was correctly working existing previously. So to check that particular thing, we do a testing called as regression testing. Okay, mostly what the automation part actually takes care is the regression testing part only. So we use automation more likely in the regression phase than in the unit testing and system testing phases. So that is how it works. So as an automation tester, if you are good in automation, if you are good in some programming knowledge, then it will be easy for you to quickly grasp what the automation testers are doing, and what everyone else is doing. What a manual tester does and what an automation tester does is entirely different actually. Manual tester doesn't have much of a impact than the automation tester. If you are projecting yourself as a manual tester, say for example in IT industry, in an IT company, if you say you are a manual tester and if you say you are an automation, if some other person is an automation tester, they obviously tend to go towards the other person who is an automation tester, because he will be flexible actually. He can learn the coding, he can understand the coding rather than a manual tester. Because a manual tester, it is like very tougher for the manual testers to cope up again with the fast pace actually industry that the industry is going on. Say the methods have been changing actually. So it has been from the waterfall model. Previously it was there, the waterfall model. Now it has become agile. Soon it is going to be in DevOps, most of the thing. Then they are talking about the CI/CD pipeline, which is continuous integration and deployment. That is like every day there will be some changes. Every day there will be some there will be some changes that will be coming to your towards your way, and every day you'll have to test it, and every day you'll have to deploy the code changes there in the any Git or Jenkins or something like that, which is on online code management things. So how the industry is moving forward is with the automation things and with the coding part actually. So there is no single person inside the project without a coding knowledge certification or coding knowledge. Maybe he'll be very good at Java, then he will be forced to do something in Python. He'll be forced to do something in .NET. So that is how it works. See, I've been experienced in Selenium more often. I've just come across UFT. So, but now I've been forced to work in UFT tool, which is nowhere near to my strengths. So that is how you will be tested. You have to learn it quickly as possible, and you will have to adapt to the particular project and particular requirements, particular roles that you have been given, everything like that. So it is easy for me if I'm good at one programming language, then just the syntax changes in the other programming language, so I can easily adapt to the changes that has been put forth to me. Whereas if I don't know, if I'm a manual tester and if I've been put forth to an automation project when there's no scope for manual tester itself, then I'll be finding it very difficult. And because of me, the team will be finding it very difficult to deliver the project on time. So that is how it works. Okay. Uh, is there any queries? I think I've covered most what is going on in the industry. So you guys, actually there is so many platforms for you to learn actually. If you guys are already certified in some coding language, some programming language, it's well and good. If not, also there is enough time for you to start surfing, start browsing, and quickly take up one particular certification. Let it be anything, any programming language. If you're interested in whatever you are interested in, pursue that particular programming language and see how you can uh, do something with that particular knowledge actually. Say for example, if you are choosing the career as a software tester, you should be at least knowing a particular programming language. This is a minimum criteria actually. I think I heard you guys are having a syllabus in Python. So if Python is a very good language actually, because Python can be used in many industries actually. It can be used for data analytics, it can be used for automation testing, and mostly it is coming into Python actually. Now the industry has been setting the trend to the Python, moving from Java and moving from .NETs and all. So .NETs and Java are slowly fading away. So new technologies like Python. There is one more trending tool called RPA, that is called as robotic process automation, within which we have multiple tools actually. That is UiPath is there, Pega systems is there. So there are multiple opportunities for you to quickly surf and quickly decide on how what particular path that you're going to follow actually. So if you are very good at quickly grasping things, then it is high time for you to decide in which particular area that you're going to do as a software tester. Because as I said earlier, I still again I'll have to pinpoint it more often than not. Like with quality is more important. The quality of work you deliver is the result, is the amount of result that you're going to get actually. Quickly you can grow it to a height wherein, like, I've seen persons who have been starting as a manual tester, and out of their own interest they have learned some coding languages, and they have started automating few tasks and they have shown it to their manager, which in turn actually has led them to get promoted more sooner than a manual tester. Manual testers are being forced actually to learn something new to survive in the industry. So that is the outcome of this particular field actually, I would say. So we have to run as fast with the pace, and we have to cope up with the following trend as well, because you cannot survive on one single area. So if on a testing basis I'll have to say it as an example, then I would say it's like, say I have started it as a manual tester, then I cannot survive now as a manual tester in the current industry, because manual testers have been chucked out actually. Manual testers have been forced to learn new things. Either you learn new things or you leave this thing. So that is how the trend is actually. So I'm not I hope I am not scaring you out, but it is the current trend that is going on in the industry. So people who are good at programming skills try and learn more and more concepts. So for an automation tester, you don't need, say for example, if take Selenium as an example. If I'm using Selenium and Java as a background, so I don't need much of a Java knowledge. Much of a Java knowledge in the sense, uh, like I don't have to have the knowledge as equal as the developer. Instead, I should have a knowledge which is enough for me to automate certain things. So that is how it works. So major thing, the basic thing I need to learn is like OOPS concept should be, I should be very thorough in OOPS concepts. I should be having the knowledge in the what to say, this constructor things, this string handling, error handling methods. That is the basic. I should be very good in basic things like data types, variables, where to use, when to use. That is the main aspects that has been going on. That is the minimum bare amount of knowledge that we have to have in our hand to get into the industry itself. uh, that is how it works. Okay. So I think I've covered it up, ma'am. So guys, is there any query that you have to ask? I mean, please go ahead on that.
Kindly drop your queries in the chat box.
Just guys, just put in your queries. Let it be any query actually. So I'm okay if even if it is not in the even if it is not a good question. Also, I don't bother actually answering. But I just wanted you guys to open up actually. So what do you guys think about if you are taking up the software testing as your career actually? So I just wanted you guys to let me your thoughts, like how you think, what you think it is feasible, what you think according to you is good or bad. Then maybe I can give you a suggestion or something like that. Just go ahead and post your queries actually. I'm happy to answer it. Let me stop presenting it first. Could we need to learn any advanced technologies as a software tester? Advanced technology, I would say you have to, that is entirely on your interest actually. So how your interest, say for example, you may be very good in Java actually. So if you are learning Java, then it will be easy for you to learn new technologies as well. If at all you have been forced to work on any other languages, it will be easy for you once you are good in some programming language, I would say. Rather than nothing, it is there is something that you can work on, uh, that you can easily make your use your skills actually to learn the new ones. uh, I would say, like, how to say is like, say for example, there is a trending technology that has been going on, like as I said in the thing itself, RPA. It is robotic process automation. So that has been the current trend here actually right now. So robotic process automation will be used actually in the future as well. uh, So within robotic process automation, there are humpty number of opportunities within that. Actually, like in the UI path is there, Pekka systems are also there. So that will be used actually. So maybe you can try and learn those kind of technologies actually. So recent testing tools, any open source, we have Selenium is there. We also have Squish is there, which is the advanced form of Selenium. So that is also an open source that you can pursue on. Any certification is required for getting a testing job? So certification, actually, I would say, yes, you need something just to have a proof that you have done something good. But more or less, I would say it's like the knowledge that you possess actually. See, the knowledge that you have in a programming skills actually, in an interview room, if they are asking you to code something, how good you code, how confidently you code some concepts. Let it be a basic question like uh, uh, print this particular statement or anything. Let it be anything. How good that are you? How confident are you in delivering that particular question? That is all it matters. So there won't be any that is the impact. That is the impact that you give it to the interviewer, that you're confident enough to take up the challenge. So that is how they see you as a candidate, as a perfect candidate. That is how you see actually. That is how they see you in how are your confidence level, and what will be your mindset if you are put forth in a pressure situation, how well you're going to handle things. So that is how it is like. um Roadmap to become a software tester. There's no roadmap, Karthikeyan, actually. Just no, you just have to decide something. You just you being a software tester, actually it is maybe like in a getting into a giant industry like, say for example, if you're getting into TCS, you are not really sure that you're going to become a software tester until they put you into, there's because you are not really sure that what particular what a field that you're going to end up into. There is a person who will be very good in developing, but he'll be forced to put into testing. So that is how the industry doesn't see what your things are, how well you do in your particular aspect, as well as you don't give up on your interests. So how well you show it of your skills to your manager, that is how you grow as a person, as a IT professional. I would say, I would put forth on a light note like IT professional. Uh, so other than that, I don't see any roadmap and all to this is the process that you have to follow. This is the thing that you have to follow. But the basic thing I would say is like, uh, even if it is a developer role or in a tester role, you should be good enough to handle the coding part actually. So that is why I'm still insisting on that particular topic of at least take up one particular programming language and try to get thorough on those particular concepts, major basic concepts that we have to apply it in your daily programs actually. Basic programs that you have, constructors is there, I mean oops concepts is there if you are taking up Java. So those are the basic things that you have to do. Then everything, I think, will be falling in your place. If we want to pursue software testing as a career, is it a must that we all should know the kinds of testing? Not exactly, actually, because as I said, actually, if you are getting into major IT firms like say, TCS, CTS, you'll be put into training. And that is when you get to know whether you are becoming a software tester or a developer or a BA or anything like that. I mean, so you are not really sure, and they will be, you will be trained in such a way that you are forced, you will be easily getting to know what are all the things that we are going through inside the software testing, or maybe let it be a software testing or a developer. So you will be learning things according to that only, actually, I would say. If you are ending up in a startup, actually, which is a very good thing, actually. If you're ending up in a startup, then you'll be given the role directly as a SDET, as I said it before. You will be given a product. I mean, it is your duty to develop the product and give it to the client. So you are the developer, you are the manager, you are the tester, you are the uh, production support person, and you are the maybe you are the person who is delivering the project to the client itself. So everything will be you, only you. There won't be anyone. You will be supporting. That is when you get to learn new things, and that is when you get to see what the particular industry is, expecting you to do some things. How do you keep with current technology trends? Current technology trends, actually, you could see if once you are into the industry, actually, I would say you will be able to see what is going on around you, in and around you, how other peoples are performing. You will be able to see the changes, actually, with respect to the projects and with respect to the methodologies they choose. Previously, when I entered the field, it was like most of waterfall model. Then slowly agile came into picture. So slowly agile came into picture, and then waterfall is getting vanished right now. So there is I could hardly see even one or two waterfall model projects that are been going there, because everyone is seeking for a change. Everyone wants to be updated in such a way that they don't want to lag behind anyone. So that is how the field is, actually. More about Selenium. Yeah, sure. So Selenium, actually, if I talk on that, so how it is an open source tool, and you can be able to automate only the background. Actually, the main drawback of Selenium being an open source tool, actually, is its ability to automate only UI application, only web based application. So most of the projects, say for example, I'm working in a banking industry. So most of the banking projects doesn't have dependency on web. Rather, they have dependency on desktop applications. So in this aspect only, I came across the UFT tool, and we have been working in UFT tool for so long. But Selenium, actually, I would say it is a very good tool, a very good testing automation tool, actually, which is a very good initiative for you to start up your career with. I would say, being a Selenium tester, I was enjoying automating the UI things. Uh, how to say is like, on a very basic note, I would say I will just automate all the test cases that has been given to me, and I'll just click on run button. I'll just sit simply till the result comes. There's not much of work that has been left out for me to do, because I've been handling it everything whatever a manual tester does, right from say for example, you have the UI screen of submitting a particular loan or something like that. So you have to enter all the details like name, place, age, date of birth, every single aspect that you have to type. Within that, that you have to give enters, that you have to screenshot it, that as an evidence for the test case to be passed, and everything like that. But if I'm using Selenium, and I've previously automated everything, like I've already identified which is the particular field that I have to paste the data in, and what is the particular data that I have to paste. Everything has been given in the background. So whatever I can do is like, I'll just give the address of that particular thing, which we call it as an identifier. An identifier is something like, there is a text box. Say for example, in a Facebook, username field is a text box. Username field is a text box. Password is a text box. So I just have to identify the location. I just have to identify that particular unique identifier that will be there. In Selenium, there are multiple identifiers with which you can identify one particular element, actually, one particular object. In this case, I would say a text box. If it is a text box, I have multiple text boxes in my screen, and I'll have to uniquely identify that particular text box. If it is a username text box, I'll have multiple ways to identify that particular text box. say for example that every UI screen will be developed mostly actually in a HTML background things. So for a HTML background, actually there will be like div tags and everything like that. So you can identify it as a class name. You can identify it with the an XPath is there. XPath is something which is unique for every individual objects actually that has been designed. There is a CSS selector is there. There is an ID is there. So you can identify a particular element in multiple ways, provided you have to make sure that which is the best identifier that can be used for that particular object. So that is how you have to do it. Then once you identify it, you will have to give inputs to that particular field. After clicking it, then you have to give input. What input? Say for example, username is that your username will be given. Then your password is given. So you will have to identify each and every individual object in which the action has to be performed in that. In the previous example, which I said, like logging into a Facebook page, changing your profile picture. So every single click that you're making, that a human is making, those things has to be, automated in such a way that you don't have to handle it ever again. So that is how it works. And also there is an, if there is any update, then you again have to go and change that particular location or identifier of that element alone. So you don't have to, you don't have to go and change all your inputs, go and change all your every single element that you have identified that has become entirely scrapped out of the product. Nothing like that. So you just have to go and change that particular identifier of that particular field alone. Maybe it might have repositioned, or it might have changed its thing and everything like that. And so as I said, in Selenium, there will be like multiple frameworks that we use actually. So frameworks, you can take data-driven framework, keyword-driven framework, BDD framework. So framework, so I would, on a surface level, I would say what is a keyword-driven framework, or it is a BDD framework. BDD framework is nothing but a behavioral-driven development. So behavior-driven development, as the name itself suggests you, like it entirely depends on the changes that we, that the UI is getting into. Like say for it is most used in agile projects. Why? Because in agile there will be every single sprint there will be some changes that has been given to you. So with respect to the changes, with respect to the UI changes, you alter your framework. So within BDD framework, there are multiple tools that you're using. Like you can use Cucumber tool. Cucumber tool will have, we just segregate the coding part and we just segregate the runnable part actually. So in Cucumber tool, if I get in deep with that Cucumber tool, so there will be briefly classified into runnable feature file, runnable class, and then step definition file is where you write the actual code, and then property file is where you give the properties, like say for example static properties like URL is there, username and password. If it is a static thing which is not going to change in further and change in the future, that you will be giving in the test data properties. So in feature file, how you will do is like, say for let me complete with the step definition file. So in step definition file, all the runnable codes that you're going to do, all the actions that you're going to perform will be coded there. You will be coding there in the step definition files. Okay, and each and individual methods will be there. Say in case of a login logout application, you will have to enter the URL. You will have to open the browser, enter the URL. That becomes one method. Then you will have to click on the username and click on the password and type the username and password. That becomes another method. Clicking on the login button and verifying the home page is there. So these are individual methods that we have already written. So for all these individual methods, I'll have in the feature file, I'll be calling all those individual methods under one name. Say if it is a login scenario. So the scenario is to log into a particular page. So what all the login actions that I have done. So I've just opened my browser. I've just entered my URL. I've just clicked enter. That is one method. I'll just call that method there. Then the second method will be login. Click on the username and password. Type the username password and click on login button. That will become the second method. Third method will be verify whether the home page is displayed after successful login. Fourth method will be logout. So this one particular scenario, this scenario name which I gave that will be given in the runner class, and I'll be running the function from there. So it interlinks everything. It interlinks the data property files, which from which the username and password will be there, will be taken into. It involves majorly the step definition file, where you have the actual coding there. It involves the feature file from which the flow has been taken. And it involves the runner file, which is the triggering point for you to run the application, run the particular script. So that is how it works. So Selenium actually is a very good option actually to start off with as an automation tester. Uh, I think that answers your question, Karthikeyan. Can you please say which programming language is the best for software testing? Uh, there's no best suited for software testing, but actually, if you are trying to learn Python, actually, it is very useful in not only in software testing, in many of the fields. Actually, even the later point of your career, if you are deciding not to pursue with software testing and you have to move your move your career to some other diagonal or something, Python will be very useful. So I would say Python would be a good option. Java is also a very good option, but Python is better, I would say. Rational function tester. So that is more of a performance testing tools actually. Like you have more performance testing, wherein you will be able to load more of a load testing. I mean, how many performance of the particular software. So I'm quite sure, like I have no much of a knowledge, not much of a knowledge in performance testing concepts, but on a high level, if I have to say something, so I'll be putting it like this way. So at a particular time, how much load a particular UI can take up, that is the performance of your deciding the performance of your software that you have developed. Say for example, if I have developed a UI at a particular time, how many number of users can log into a particular that particular URL, and how many users, and how efficiently that particular URL works even after having this many number of users logged in and performing some tasks in it actually. So that is the outline that I would say on a performance level. Do you use robotic framework testing? There is the talking that has been going on right now in our project actually to move all the automated part into different set of UI. I mean, robotic process automation tool. So out of which we are selecting the UI path actually. So the talks are still going on. So as of now, we are just trying out some basic flows like trial and error. We would say, like we will be just checking the trial and error methods. So since it is a licensed software, actually, we don't get much of a chance actually to use it and to use it for further sessions actually to develop our knowledge and all. We don't have much of time to do that actually. We don't have much of time to explore on those new technologies actually. So that is how it goes. But if you are on to if you are very interested in learning about the UI path and all, then I mean robotic process automation and all, then you sure have multiple things that you have actually like Udemy and all. You can go ahead and you can pursue that as well. um is there
So I
anything?
have a question. Could you
Yeah,
please
tell
tell
me.
us about the placement process for TCS and how did you enter the software testing field?
Placement process is like so like how I prepared is I mean I'm not really sure of how TCS is currently picking the thing because of the pandemic situations. I am not really sure on that, but I would say I would share to you like how I prepared to to try and get into such industries actually. So like what I did was like I tried to serve previous 5 years aptitude model, because first round is obviously an aptitude round. So once you clear that aptitude round, then it entirely is in your hands to get through the HR interview, get through the technical interview. So TCS actually has 3 rounds basically as far as far as I know. So first is the aptitude round, then it will be like the technical round, then it will be HR round. So in the most difficult part is for the aptitude round only, I would say, because like not everyone is good at math, especially considering my situation, I am not very good in maths and all. So what I did was like I just surfed in the internet and I just tried to download a few previous years questions, aptitude questions and aptitude answers that they posted online. There will be some forums and all, you can easily get those question papers and all. So try and solve repeatedly, like multiple set of questions. So every year they'll be uploading those entrance questions actually. So out of which you can you can how to say, you can classify which are all the questions carrying more weightage and how efficiently you can answer the more weightage questions to score higher marks, because certain companies will have negative marking for every wrong answer and certain doesn't. But so you have to segregate it in such a way that these are the topics that has been majorly asked. These are the topics that you're going to try and solve multiple times in order to get comfortable with, and uh, and try and solve more and more on those particular topics actually. Say for example, if it is a mensuration topic in max, you try and solve, say there will be some segregation in which there is a particular pattern in which they ask the question, so they'll be giving it upfront actually, because in aptitude itself, so you'll have mensuration in one thing, trains and train simulation in other thing, pipes and cisterns, there is a concept, there is which has some weightage in different companies will have different set of questioning aspect actually. So that is how you have to try. If you're going to attend TCS, then you'll have some set of questioning patterns in which kind of cognizant, or in which the TCS will be asking the aptitude questions for. So you try and download the previous years and how it has been going with that, and you try and segregate the topics first. Try and solve more and more problems on those particular topics. That is how I personally did, and fortunately I got into one. Then once you clear the aptitude round, then it is like that is when your coding part comes into picture. That is when you will be questioned to uh, give some sample programs on a particular topic. They'll be saying like write a program to do this thing on your any coding language that you're comfortable with. So I answered, I think, like in PHP, I guess. At that time I had I did a certification in PHP or something, so I was very comfortable with PHP. So I tried to solve that particular question in PHP actually. So that is how it works. So once you clear the technical round, then it is a mere formality for you actually, because HR rounds is more of a discussion on like high level basis, like what you have been doing in your projects. So what I would say is like you just have to make sure you clear the aptitude round. Then in the technical round, you have to make sure that whatever you are giving in your resume, you should be very good at. You should be you should be knowing those things very well, because most of the questions actually will be coming from your projects. As a fresher, if you're I mean, since you guys are a fresher, going to be a fresher, the more questions will be from your projects that you have been doing in your academics, and what are the languages that you've used, programming languages, and some sample programs in that particular programming language, or maybe whichever language that you're comfortable with. I don't think uh, intake will be actually they're much tougher. I don't think so, but considering the pandemic situation, I'm not really sure like how the intake is. But this is how actually I follow. This is how the method that I followed while getting into the interview regime actually. I try to segregate these things. So for majorly, what you have to do is like you guys have to try and concentrate more on clearing the first round first. So the second round comes in your academics only. So whatever you have prepared, actually, you obviously know what the projects that you did, the languages that you used, and you try and be more confident on the answering, how confidently you are answering. That is the major thing that has been that will get you more marks on that. But the challenges for the automation, I'm sorry, the aptitude round, actually first round. So that is how the process will be. That is where they will be eliminating much of profiles actually.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Sure. Is there anything, any questions? Rajdeepa ma'am, if not, we are good to go actually. So
Yes, yes. Raghavi?
Yeah, ma'am. Thank you so much for the presentation, sir. I hope all my friends who chose testing as their career path would have benefited. Thank you so much for spending your valuable time, sir. Thank you.
sure, thanks a lot.
I
All the best, guys.
Yeah, sir. Thank you. I request Rashika of 3rd BSc IT to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good evening, one and all. It's my privilege to have been asked to propose vote of thanks on this occasion. I, on behalf of PSG College of Arts and Science and the entire Department of Information Technology, and on my own behalf, extending a very hearty thanks to the guest speaker for gracing our important work and sharing with us your experiences and opinions today. A big thank you to all the staff members for your efforts towards organizing this webinar series. I also thank our placement coordinators, Mr. Mukesh sir and Mr. Mohan Kumar sir, for joining the session. I would like to thank all my friends for patient listening and enthusiastic participation in this event. Once again, I want to state that we are all most grateful to the guest speaker of the day, Mr. Sri Balaji. We thank you, sir, for being with us this evening. It's been a great pleasure. Thank you all.
Thanks a lot, guys. It's been a wonderful thing.